What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Yana Samayria, aka Miss Real Spill, aka the Dundada, aka what? Baby, that girl. So listen, we are back again with another video. I'm about to just get into it. Let's just get into it, okay? So one thing about me, everybody knows I hate not having lashes on, especially on camera. Okay, I look like a bald eagle without lashes, so don't judge me, judge your mama. Don't pay the fact that I don't have any lashes any attention, okay? Even though I just brought it up to you, don't look. Because I want to do this video, because here's my thing. When I leave this house, I set my mood every morning. Like I said, well, I try to set my mood every morning. I'm working on that because I'm finding out routines are important. We're gonna talk about that later. But I like to set my routine, or like the mood, the energy in the morning with meditation, with prayer, praising, worshiping, things like that. And I don't answer the phone when I don't leave my house, because the minute I do, I'm a big empath. So the minute I answer the phone for your drama, now I'm all engulfed in your drama, listening to you like, oh, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be da-da-da. And my spirit is knocked off, and I think about you all day. I wonder if they're okay, I wonder, and then I don't do my video. Or I leave, I need to go to Walmart, but if I leave right now and go to Walmart, whoever in Walmart, if they bump me with my butt with a buggy, I'm gonna be like, God's still working on me. You feel me? So then by the time I get home, I'm frustrated, and it's already like 120 degrees out there. So by the time I get back, I'm hot, I'm aggravated, I ain't doing no video. So in order for me to get some lashes, I'll have to leave the house. So I'm just gonna give it to y'all like this, so that I can still give y'all the spirit that God has on me. So when I walk out this house and I start like fighting for my life, y'all won't be affected. You feel me? Okay, so now that all of that is out the way and we on the same page, all right, let's talk about this week. This week is coming to an end, and let's talk about the things that I've learned in this week. So this week has really taught me two things, and I'm gonna keep harping on the first one. The first one is boundaries. I really need boundaries. But the second one is spiritual hygiene and understanding the timing of God. And I think with me and my relationship with God, we've always been on the same page. Ever since I was younger, me and God have always been on the same page. If not, I wasn't too far behind him, because he's never behind me. I wasn't too far behind him. But in this season, I feel like we was on two different chapters, you know? And it's because I was in unmarked territory. I was walking into a season that I've never seen before, right? And instead of me going back to the source that creates these seasons or helps you through these seasons, I went into like an isolation type of ordeal, and I was very upset. And in essence, I was throwing spiritual tantrums because things weren't going my way, or things were crashing down. And I was like, why is all of this happening at one time? God, you said you don't give us more than we can bear, but baby, I can barely bear this, okay? They asked me, are you good? I'm like, barely, you know. So it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'm just trying to figure you out. And this is around, before I entered this season, this was around the same time where I was asking God, like, who are you really? Like, the church been telling me this, but I don't really make sense to me. Like, who are you for real? And he began to say, like, show me who he was. So then when he's showing me who he is, and then I entered this season of unmarked territory, I'm like, okay, this is foreign. Okay, this is foreign to me, and this is something that I don't know how to handle. So before my season, God had promised me a couple of things. Okay, this is gonna happen, and I'm all excited, and then boom, he didn't tell me, before you get there, you got to go through this. He just said, so-and-so, so-and-so, this is gonna happen, this is what I'm having for you, thus said the Lord. And I'm like, heard, I'm lit, this sounds lit, I'm happy. But he didn't tell me, in order for you to get there, you got to go through this. And you gotta, in the middle of you going through this, you have to trust that my timing is divine, and I'm also, my guidance is omnipotent, and I am going to guide you through this whole thing. And what I had to understand was relinquishing control was important, because control, part of me controlling the situation was saying it needs to happen when I said it needs to happen. It needs to happen when it makes most sense for me, you know? And things were passing by, and I'm like, oh, this is an opportunity for this thing that God told me I was going to have to happen, and then it doesn't. Now I'm frustrated. And God had to show me, not in your timing, but my timing. Okay? Not when you want it to happen, but when I need it to happen. For example, I'm gonna I'm gonna let y'all in my business a little bit because y'all know this is real spill. So I moved from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia in August. I came back home in August and I transferred my job from one restaurant, because I'm a server, from one restaurant to the next, the same restaurant just in Florida when I got to Florida, right? So what I was experiencing in Georgia working at this restaurant was easy. It was lit. I had a great time. I made some good money. So I'm thinking the same thing's gonna happen here. However, right? When I got here, I began to experience issues with my hands, with my left hand, and I was introduced to tendonitis. If you know what tendonitis is, drop it in the comments for people who don't know. I'm gonna tell y'all too, but still, I like interaction. Tendonitis is basically when your joint, this right here, your thumb is inflamed from holding trays, or if you do hair, doing hair in a repetitive motion over and over. So it was very hard for me to do like this, or it was very hard for me to do this. I didn't have mobility in my wrist, right? That led me to have to take a leave of absence for work because I was on a workers' comp claim. While I was on this workers' comp claim, I was out of work for 3 months, right? And during these 3 months, I was frustrated. I was frustrated, okay? Because I'm like, Lord, what is happening? You told me I was going into a season of not suffering. You told me I was going into a season of blessings and abundance. But it looks like physically, what it looks like is that I'm struggling. I'm in pain, and I don't have no money. Because if you're a waitress, you know, if you're not at work getting that paper, you ain't getting no paper. I equivalent waitressing to like drug dealing. You know, if you ain't out there on that corner, baby, you ain't gonna make your coins. If you ain't flipping it, you ain't gonna get it, you know? And that's how it is waitressing. So I'm like, God, I'm not making any money. I'm struggling. But because God's provisions and God was always made and God always provides, He made sure that I survived. Okay? I survived. My bills were paid. I ate. I had somewhere to sleep. I survived. But in that moment, y'all, I was having a temper tantrum because I'm like, I don't understand. Why is this happening? This is not what you told me. This is not what you said was going to happen in this year. Like, what is going on? You're making me sound crazy because I'm telling people God is working. Like, God is working. And these same people asking me were basically like, where God at? I thought you said that you was going to do this. Or I thought you said this was going to happen. I thought you said... And that's why it's important to hush your mouth when God tell you stuff. It's not for everybody, baby. Close your mouth, okay? So, not only was I feeling like embarrassment from opening my mouth, running my mouth prematurely, but also I was just confused because I'm like, am I listening to the wrong thing? Are you not talking? And I'm talking to myself. Am I promising myself all these things? Like, what's happening? So I transitioned from there and I went back to work, right? Fast forward to now. I went back to work in like February. Fast forward to now. Now it's July. My right hand is messed up. Feeling the same way my left hand was. I can't even, like, girl, I ain't gonna show you because I don't want you to see the pain on my face. I can't do this on this hand anymore, and this is my dominant hand. So guess what? I'm stressed out again. I'm like, Lord, I thought you said, like, now I'm getting even more antsy because I thought you said this was the year for X, Y, and Z. This was the year for expansion. This was the year for acceleration, baby. It's about to be August. It ain't nothing but 12 months in a year. You know, where you at, baby? Boost, where you at? You know? And so this morning, the past couple days, I've been really like in my feelings, right? In my feelings. And when I'm in my feelings, baby, sometimes I act out. So I've been like lashing out a little bit. Throwing temper tantrums, literally cutting up. Things not going my way physically, I'm cutting up because things are not going my way spiritually. So now I'm like, it's so much going on at the same time. And none of it looks like what you told me. You know what I'm saying? So because none of this looks like what you told me, I'm frustrated because it's like, what's really up? What's really good, right? So the Lord told me this morning, he asked me in the middle of me complaining, because before he even told me this, you know, God likes to confirm. I feel like God has been trying to get through to me, but because I'm so flustered and so consumed with what's going on, what I don't have, the fact that my hand is about to give out, or I feel like my hand's about to give out. So like now I have the question of what's next, God? Oh my gosh, I have all these bills, I have all these things, I'm up to my neck, and you know this, and now you let my hand mess up? What's going on? Like, what's going on, you know? And I have a mentor, and she told me, she was like, you're having spiritual tantrums. God is telling you everything's going to be okay. He's still working for you. He tells you that he's with you every step of the way, but because it doesn't look like what you want it to look like, you acting out. Then I went to work, and my manager, you know, me and my manager are pretty cool. I love her to death. She pulled me to the side. She said, Yana, who I met and who I'm experiencing are two different people. I said, oh. She said, I met a light. I'm experiencing darkness. What's happening? Your emotions, you're too emotional. Your emotions are taking over you. They're consuming you. All while these people are telling me these things, I've been having dreams about water, about being in the shower, about being in the bathroom. If you know anything about dreams, bathroom is a symbolization of your emotions, of your inner state. And every time I'm in the bathroom, the tub is dirty. Why? Because the tub and the toilet, all that signifies all of that signifies spiritual, like, emotions, or your own personal emotions. And they jacked up, sis. That's what my dreams tell me. That's what the Lord's trying to tell me. You need to get your emotions under control. So I had to sit there and ask myself, why are my emotions in a frenzy in the first place? What's happening? And it's because things weren't going the way that I thought. And I felt like I had a timetable, and I'm wondering why things aren't happening, and God's not doing what he said he was going to do. But it's not that he's not doing it. I'm trying to be like Sarah. Y'all know we talked about Sarah in one of the other videos. I'm trying to be like Sarah and control it and force things to happen before they're meant to happen. So this morning when I was pouting, God asked me these simple questions. He said, are you about to get kicked out of your apartment? I said, no. He said, are they about to take your car? I said, no. He said, do you have clothes? Yes. Do you have a place to lay your head? Yes. Do you have food? Yes. Well, what's the problem? I said, I said, what do you mean? He said, what's the issue? You have everything that you need. What's bad about your life? I said, he said, what are you stressing over? I said, my future. I screamed out my future, like, with so much emotion. Because when I'm thinking about my future, I'm not thinking 5 years from now. I'm talking about my future. If this hand, y'all, gives out on me and I can't go back to work, I got bills I got to pay this month. That's what I mean by future, God. I got bills I got to pay next month. My birthday next month. I'm supposed to be going out of town. I got stuff to do that doesn't pertain to today. It pertains to the days after today, which is the future. That's what I'm stressed about. No lie, this is what the Lord said to me. He said, that's not you, though. You're worried about something that is me. You're trying to do a job that only I can do. Your future is me. I take care of your future. You take care of what you can take care of in the moment. You take care of your present. I take care of your future. And I was like, wow. He said, so the reason why you're stressing is because you're out of balance. You're worried about something that's not in your control, and you're not able to control because you don't have a crystal ball to see what's going to happen. Only I do. Not a crystal ball for real, but y'all don't be technical. You know what I mean. Only I can really control and see the future. All you are meant to do is live in your present moment and know that if I told you the provisions are going to be made, they will be made. Not on your time, though, on mine. And if I'm being honest, there's several situations. Like, can I tell them this? There's several situations where God will tell me something, and something would happen to where I feel like, okay, God, what you told me, this is the perfect situation. This is what you was talking about. And then that situation will pass, and I'm just like, wait a minute. But then later on, a couple months later, or maybe a year later, another situation will come that looks like the first situation, just 10 times worse. And that's when God shows up. You feel me? So it's like, in my life, he's like, I've shown you. My track record with you is clean. It's clear. It should be good. I should be good in your book. Because time after time I've shown you. I might not come when you want me to, but I come when it's important. Because if I'm being honest, the time that he did come and actually showed up, I was like, oh, Lord, thank God you didn't come when I was begging you to come the first time, because I thought the first time was bad. Thank God you didn't come when my left hand was hurting, because my left hand is not my dominant hand. So I could still maneuver everything on my right hand. And, you know, I had my mom there. I was living with my mom at the time. She was there to help me. Thank you. You know, I wanted him to do a certain thing in that season, what he told me he was going to do, and he didn't do it. So I'm like, now, a couple months later, I'm like, thank you for not doing it for my left hand, because you knew my right hand was going to do the same thing. So what I'm going to say to you is this. If you're waiting on God for something, I know it's tough. I sympathize with your journey. Trust me, I do, because I'm waiting on a lot of ships to come in, okay? I'm waiting on a lot of things. So I understand and I empathize with your journey, but we have to be stronger than that. Yeah, let's get it. We got to be stronger than that. I can't baby you because I can't baby myself. We got to be stronger than that and know and look back on our track record with God. God has always provided for us. He has always showed up for us when it was necessary. Not when we wanted it just because we wanted it. You know, it was when it was needed. Sometimes God's like, you're strong enough. I'm not here to be your crutch. I'm here to be your guide. A crutch doesn't guide you. You guide the crutch because you're moving the crutch with your own hand. God's like, I'm not your crutch, baby. I'm your guide. So therefore, there's certain things that I know you can handle. So this left wrist, he probably was like, I know you can handle that. You got your mama, you got this, you got that. I'm here with you, but I know you can handle it. But because I know I'm going to save what I need for when you really, 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 really need me. Not to say that on your left wrist I wasn't there, because he was there. He made sure I got the things that I needed to get. But on my right wrist, he's like, I knew it was going to be more. It was going to cost you more. So I knew that I was going to have to, that's when the provision that I said was going to be made is going to be made. Because I knew it was going to be your hand and a whole bunch of other things going on around you. And I knew you would need me. I told you I was never going to give you more than you can bear. You could have bared the left wrist. You had that in the bag. I knew that because I know you. But I know this right wrist, you was going to need some help. Because of the time and the circumstances and the season that you were also going to be in. So we have to learn how to just relax and trust that God got us, bro. And he knows what we need when we need it. And sometimes we thinking we know what's best. And the reality of it is you know what's best maybe in your present moment. And sometimes you don't even know that. But your future, you got to lay that all up to God. Because he's the only one that wrote your story out for you to walk through it. He wants you to walk through it. He knows it, but he wants you to walk through it. So just trust and know that he's there. And I promise y'all, it's going to make sense. If you start being alert and paying attention in your everyday waking life, you'll begin to notice like, okay, God really is working. It might be little victories equal big victories. You might, and sometimes we look over the little things that God do because we're looking for something big and spectacular. And he's like, you're missing it because you're missing the small blocks that I'm putting, stacking higher and higher and higher every time. You're missing that because you're looking for the big block when I'm literally stacking small blocks in front of you. And that was my problem. I couldn't see the good around me because I was worried about what I did not have. Because I'm like, God told me, am I doing something wrong? Like, it's this, da, 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 da. And God's like, bro, I'm building. All this stuff takes time. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. Anything worth having is worth waiting for. It takes time. And anything that I make you wait for, you know when I give it to you, baby, it's going to be something out this world. So patience is a virtue, y'all. Being patient is key. And being kind-hearted to God. Because I found myself being very negative towards God. Like, God, why would you? Why would you? And he had to show me some things you walked yourself into. Some blockages and some things that you're dealing with, you created up here. Out of stress, out of worry, out of anxiety. That wasn't me, that was you. And we have to understand, everything ain't God or the devil. Sometimes you in the mix too. You feel me? So, that's all I got for y'all today. Trust God's time, man. If he told you the provision was going to be made, if he gave you a promise, know that he's going to do it. I don't know when. I can't give you no hint, baby. I ain't a genie. I don't know when, but I know for a fact that he's going to do it. He's not going to leave. And if he doesn't do that, he'll do a new thing. And that new thing will be better than whatever he promised you. And he's going to let you know that. But make sure your ears are heightened, your eyes are open, and your mouth is closed. Okay? Because sometimes when we're in it, we open our mouth to negativity and close it to positivity. So you're going through all this. You're like, God, why not this? And why this? And why this happening to me? And this always happening. Da, da, da. You speaking all of that. Close your mouth. Open your ears and open your eyes. And cleanse out your spiritual hygiene. How can I cleanse out my spiritual hygiene, Yana? Pray, meditate, breathe. Write everything down and journal. Those are the 4 things you start with. You start with prayer. You meditate on what you read from the Lord. You sit in silence. No music, no phone, no distractions. Just you and the Holy Spirit. And you listen. And you breathe through the whole thing. Because you know it's going to be okay. Because God always got you. So that's it for me. I love y'all. Bye, y'all. Miss Real Spill signing out.